Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second. You live on YouTube too, right? To what? All right, Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Bashim Yashar, Brakatham, Yahweh, Shemar, Thumb, Bashim Yashar, priest and officer, Yadai, hold it down till 12 Shield General Mahyman gets here. Make sure y'all type y'all questions in the chat so General Mahyman can get to them and answer them. Now, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, it's a lot going on right now with Israel, a lot going on with our people. I know everybody's discussing and talking about Antonio Brown. The general's going to go into that a little bit later tonight, on Black Watch. The Omicron is spreading. You know what I mean? The kids are back at home. Children are back at home on their laptops. You got to understand, black man, Latino man, and woman, the Lord is not playing with the oppressor. The Most High is not playing with America. And it's rightfully so, man, because the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And these other nations and this oppressor have been terrorizing us, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, God's chosen people. We got to understand, man, that now is the time to see all of this that's going on, to see all the pestilence and disease, and see that it's finally time to come back into this truth, to understand that we are the Israelites of antiquity. We are the real Jews, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. And now it's time to come out of America. When I say come out of America, I'm not saying get on a boat, you know what I mean, and go to Zimbabwe. I'm not saying get on a plane and go to Cairo, Egypt, somewhere. No. Meaning take your mind out of America. That's what we have to do. And it starts with us letting go, you know what I mean, of the oppressor and their customs and their culture. A lot of our people just got done celebrating New Year, the so-called New Year. Well, that's a lie. There's nothing new around this time of the year, which goes to show how evil the oppressor is. First off, the New Year begins in the spring, around the time of Passover. Passover is the beginning of the new year, man. And Passover this year will be April 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida, man. About to have Passover on the beach, that is the real New Year. And how many people how many of our people died on New Year's? How many of our sisters, how many of our babies were raped and molested or had some evil thing happen to them because we want to continue to serve other gods and serve this oppressor instead of serving the God of Israel and doing what our God said to do? If I could, let me get Leviticus 20 and 26, Baba Kushon. Again, 12 show General Mahyman will be here. Make sure y'all typing y'all questions in. You know what I mean? As soon as I can go to the computer when the general gets here, you know what I mean, we're able to get him off and he'll answer them. Because now is the time to separate from the oppressor's culture. And why is it time? We have no place here in America, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. I have to explain this to you. Not free, white, and 21. What do I mean by that? Meaning we cannot live the lifestyle of this oppressor. We are oppressed everywhere on this earth, black man, Latino man, and woman, because we're not doing what our God said to do. And that's why separation is key. Separation is crucial. You know what I mean? Integration was one of the worst things that ever happened to our people. When the God of Israel, the God of blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women wanted us to be separate. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible. Read what you got, Ibad.
This is the book of Leviticus, the 20, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Stop right there. When the Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me, I know when you think about the word holy, you think about your silly grandmama, auntie, your grand or mother with that crazy feathered hat on in church. That's not holy. Your pastor with the white robe and gown on, he's not holy. Your imam, they're not holy. When you look holy up, holy means to be separate. The Lord is saying, and thou shalt be separate unto me. God is telling that black man and woman, that Latino man and woman, that First Nation man and woman, that we should be separate. Read on.
Oh God. For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy, meaning our God is holy. Our God is separate, meaning this. Our people have been under a false misconception for years, thinking that we have to integrate with the oppressor. And it's not, and it's in everything that we do. It's like we can't play football unless we plan with the oppressor. Can't play baseball unless we plan with the oppressor. Can't play basketball. We all got to, unify and join their schools. When the best thing that ever happened to us is when our God told us that we should be separate, man, unto Him. Meaning we don't need these oppressors. We don't need these other nations. That's the main problem with our people. That we feel as though we need some sense of validation by joining the oppressor in these other nations. And what do we get out of it? Nothing. We don't. We don't get nothing out of it. We were better off when we were together, black man, Latino man, and woman. You mean to tell me that because Martin Luther King wanted to sleep with white whores, we got to go and integrate with the oppressor? And you've seen the downfall of it. He even said that I fear that I've integrated my people into a burning house. And our people are going to get together in a week or two, I buy, and celebrate him on his birthday. And birthdays are something that we never really acknowledged in Israel, man. You know what I mean? Who the hell do you think you are? You're making yourself a god on that day to go and worship, you know what I mean, and give praise to a traitor to our race, man, a traitor to our people. We don't need to integrate and be joined with this oppressor. Our God told us that we should be separate unto Him because our God is separate. Meaning our God doesn't love everybody. Believe it or not, He loves that black man and woman. He loves that Latino man and woman in the ghetto and the barrio. He loves that First Nation man and woman that are suffering on those concentration camps. Can't call them reservations, I Bob, because it's not meant to reserve our First Nation brothers and sisters. Our First Nation brothers and sisters face the brunt of brutal hell. When I say hell, hell not some little underground that you go to when you die, not purgatory where some white man with pink pantyhose and red pantyhose poking you for all eternity. Hell is that concentration camp where our brothers drink themselves to death, while our sisters, you know what I mean, get picked off in them concentration camps and get raped and molested. Man, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
That's why it's time for us to be separate, because our God said that we are separate and unto Him. Read on.
Oh God. And have severed you from other people.
What does it mean where God said He severed us from other people? Now, if I was to take, you know what I mean, this blade right here and just go whoop, I would have severed my arm from my body, meaning it's no longer attached, meaning God severed us from these heathens. And I'll give you an example of that. A lot of our people were up in arms to just touch on the Antonio Brown thing for just a moment, right? A lot of our people looked at our brother and said, "Oh man, you know what I mean? He's just self-destructive. Who does he think he is? You know what I mean? He's showing it." I watched, brothers I bought, you know what I mean, down the brother and everything, but not realizing, man, that the true pain that our brothers and sisters really go through. Like, I don't think you understand what they go through as athletes. Don't get me wrong; they're not supposed to lead our people. That's the job for the priests and prophets and the I.S.U.P.K. But imagine training your entire life. Like Captain Yagarwap said it, so eloquently earlier, man. That imagine training your entire life, becoming damn near superhuman, to go out there to entertain a bunch of oppressors who don't give a damn about us. Like our brothers and sisters get discarded. And if you don't believe that, look at what they did with Naomi Osaka. Look at the scrutiny that she faced and the adversity that our sister faced. Simone Biles, just to name a couple other athletes. Our brothers and sisters face real persecution. Just because you make millions of dollars in the oppressive society does not mean that you're not a slave anymore. You're still a slave here in America if you Black, Latino, and First Nation. You are. And playing football, doing the gymnastics in the gymnasium and playing basketball, it's no different than the Roman Coliseum. Now, it's not unlawful to do it, but my question is, why can't we do this amongst ourselves? You mean to tell me that we can't have our own basketball league, Barzal? We used to have it. We used to have the ABA. We used to have the Negro League where we played baseball. We used to have our own football leagues. But because we had to go and integrate with the oppressor, now, you know what I mean, we're subjugated to more persecution from the oppressor. Now you can't go out there and take a knee. And, like Gen.YAHANNA said, that's a selfish thing to do too. You want the oppressor, you know what I mean, to acknowledge all the pain and suffering that we go through, you know what I mean, as blacks and Latinos here in America, but you still want to celebrate their so-called holidays. You can't be a hypocrite, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. How about we not play in the NBA or the NFL or the MLB? How about we start our own leagues? Because our God told us to be separate. We don't need them to go out there and play sports bars all. We don't need the oppressor to tell us, oh man, I need to record the stat of that home run, you know what I mean, that Alex Rodriguez hit. Oh man, I got to record every touchdown that Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes throws. Nah, we can do that in our own leagues. And guess what, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, the day is going to come where there is going to be no NFL where they get to persecute our brothers and sisters. There ain't going to be no more Olympics, you know what I mean, that the oppressor is going to be running. There's going to come a time where we wanted to play sports and have our own leagues. It's going to be, you know what I mean, with us in control, where we're out there playing just to be playing. And it's going to come a time, too, I abide in the kingdom, Lord allow, that the oppressors are going to have to entertain us. But to go back to what the scripture was saying, man, which is so heavy, now is the time to realize that our God wants us to be separate, not together, not all kumbaya. And what you don't realize is, if I could, give me Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. What you don't realize here in America, man, is that the Lord said this: we are still in the land of our captivity. We are still in bondage. A lot of our people think because, you know what I mean, I moved out of the hood, I moved out of that ghetto and that barrio, that now I'm better than my brothers and sisters. Because I can throw a football, because I can shoot a basketball, because I can hit a baseball, now I'm superior. Now the oppressor is going to like me. Now he's going to acknowledge me. When our God told us that we should be separate unto him. That same God, Yahweh, told us that we were above all of these heathen, above all these nations. But what do we do every day of our lives, especially with our brothers and sisters in the world? You seek validation from a devil that cannot love you, that will never love us, who doesn't give a damn about us, black man, Latino man, First Nation man. And this is how we look here in America. If I could, give me Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14.
Okay. This book of Jeremiah, 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Are we servants, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman? Are we servants here? Because we said, and the Lord is asking. Why is the Lord asking this? Because right here in America, we serve our oppressors. A lot of our people have this misconception, I buy, that they don't believe that they are slaves. And we are slaves. Shalom. Y'all watching my chopper thumbs. What's going on, Oscar? What? Understand, man, we are still in slavery. Still in slavery, man. The Lord is saying, is Israel a servant? We serve the oppressor each and every day. You think because you go to that nice job, which is really an elevator plantation, that's all your job is. It's an elevator plantation. It's a slavery. I don't care how much money you make, black man, Latino man, and woman. I don't care about all your billions or whatever. I say this all the time. If Bill Gates woke up with Oprah Winfrey's money, and don't get me wrong, Oprah got $1 billion. She got $1 billion or two. But if Bill Gates or Elon Musk, you know what I mean? What's the devil that owned Amazon? Jeff Bezos, if they woke up with Jay-Z's money, they'd kill themselves. They would. We are still servants here in America. Read on.
Okay. Is he a homeborn slave?
Is he a homeborn slave? Shalom, Lord Christ, warrior. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Now is the time, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, to realize, man, you don't have to be a slave to America, a slave to the oppressor. You don't realize that a lot of you that went out there and celebrated the oppressor's so-called New Year, you don't realize, man, you are a slave. Serving the oppressor on all the days that they tell you to. They tell you to celebrate Christmas, you go do it. They tell you to celebrate Thanksgiving, you do it. They tell you to go out there in the freezing cold. It was like, what, 22 degrees, Barzal? To go out there and freeze your ass off. Salakia for the language. To freeze your behind off to celebrate the oppressor's so-called New Year, when that's not the New Year according to our God. We are destroyed here in America, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Now is the time for us to take our culture back. Now is the time to come back to our identity. We don't even understand that we're the real Jews, Darash. Because what we have to understand, man, that there is more to life than being a slave in America. A lot of our people don't even understand what life really is. Life, you know what I mean? Life for us is not just us going to that elevator plantation, that 9 to 5, sleeping, you know what I mean, and then repeating it the next day. No. And then in the meantime, so-called living your best life, being a whore or a whoremonger or a homosexual or a murderer. No, that is not the lifestyle that our God wants us to live, black man, Latino man, and woman. And if I could, let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. If I could, the rock, yeah. Yeah, if I could. Let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. This is the duty for all of God's chosen people, man, all blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. This is how we have to live our lives. This is how we must conduct ourselves. The oppressor can go out there and be a rapist, a murderer, and a liar, and a thief, but we cannot live that lifestyle. We can't. The Chinese man and woman, they can eat whatever the hell they want and do whatever. Our God told us that we have a dietary law. We can't just pick up and eat bat type of. We can't eat Tom and Jerry. You know what I mean? We can't live like these heathens. We can't go out, you know what I mean, and go to that mosque and bow our face and slant. There are brothers and sisters, like here in Philadelphia, I don't think y'all understand. In Philadelphia, right, it's the highest concentration of Muslims, black and Hispanic Muslims, man. You going into that mosque and you slamming your face down to serve and worship a rock. Like a rock is the God of the Arabs, man. We can't do that. This is what we have to do as the Lord's chosen people. Read Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13.
Oh God. This book of Ecclesiastes, 12, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Now, God is about to explain how we are supposed to live our lives. Read on.
Fear God.
Fear what?
God.
Fear God. The problem is a lot of our people don't fear the Most High. You don't. You don't fear God because if you fear God, you wouldn't be a homosexual. If you fear God, you wouldn't hate your brother in your mind, hate your sister. You wouldn't murder one another. You wouldn't abort that baby. That's the problem. Our people have more fear for the oppressor than they do for the Most High, man. You got to understand, man, there's only one to fear, and that's the Most High. That same God that destroyed Egypt and Babylon and Rome and Assyria, and that is going to do the same thing to America. Fear God. Read on.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. That's what we have to do as the Lord's chosen people. That's the duty that we have to do as God's chosen people and keep his commandments. Fear God and keep his commandments. I know it sounds simple and I know it's a lot harder than what you may perceive, but let me tell you something. You got to look yourself in the mirror, man, and say, it's time for me to change. The toughest battle that you are ever going to fight is against that man or woman in the mirror. That man or woman in the mirror don't want to serve God and keep the commandment. You want to continue to live like the oppressor, to live like these heathens. And you're making it a lot harder than what it has to be. I'm not saying it's not a tough fight. Every brother and sister's, you know what I mean, path is different. But guess what? You do have that opportunity to walk that straight and narrow path, black man, Latino man, and woman. And what we have to do is keep these commandments and fear our God. You got to come into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. We've been doing this since 1969. You can't find the Most High in that Christian church. You're not going to find them in the Muslim mosque. You're not going to find them in the fake Israelite group. You want to know why? Because all of our people in the world are searching for them in those locations. And how is that working out for them? Your favorite actor, your favorite singer or rapper or football or athlete, you know what they do? They go to church. They go to the Muslim mosque. And guess what? Guess what? And some of them, you know what I mean, even understand that we Israelites, but go to fake Israelite groups. But you want to know why there ain't no real brotherhood there? You want to know why the Lord is not with them, that everything continues to go wrong for our people out there? Because they're not in the I.S.U.P.K. This is where real brotherhood lives. You want to come and serve the Most High correctly, you got to come in here and do it. You got to keep these commandments and fear God. You're not going to learn that in the Muslim mosque. You're not going to learn that, you know what I mean, in the Christian church or a fake Israelite group. Read on.
For this is the conclusion, for this is the duty Amen.
For this is the whole duty of man. This is the whole duty of every Israelite, man and woman. This is it. A lot of our people look and say, what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? You know what I mean? Some of y'all even going to Raj, you got silly brothers and sisters going to some poor sister with a head wrap on, burning sage, that believe in the sun, moon, and stars, and believe that she's an Aquarius, Virgo, sun, moon, rising, while she got that L rolled up in her ear. Come on now. Believing that she's going to tell you your fortune and how you can live your life when she got it from some manuscript on Google. Crazy, right? But understand this. The entire duty of every Israelite man and woman, of every Black, Latino, and Native American Indian, this is the conclusion: to fear God and keep his commandments. That is our whole duty. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Katah. That is our whole duty. And our people, we got to understand, man, it's not as hard as you're making it. This is why it's important for us to come out, because you see the trauma that we go through. You think because if you view as Antonio Brown as somebody, or Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka, you wouldn't get the press there in America if you had that type of money. A lot of our people think that. Raise your hand if you thought if you got $5-10 million tomorrow in the world, that would just solve your problems. I know I did. I thought, man, if I just had a couple dollars to rise, I'd be all right. But you gotta understand, that ain't gonna solve nothing neither. It's not gonna help. It's not. Why do you think a lot of these athletes and singers go through what they go through? You think because you made it, that, you know what I mean, that you just somehow, you know what I mean, won at life. You somehow trumped, you know what I mean, being, you know what I mean, Black, Latino, or First Nation. You became something bigger than that. You know what I mean? That the depression and the anxiety, you know what I mean, and all the terrible things that happen to us, now you're so-called exempt from it. Nah, you're not exempt from that. And what do I mean you're not exempt from? You're not exempt from these curses. These curses affect our brothers and sisters that got money, as well as the brother and sister that's broke just like us. You know what I mean? Ashtawat, they believe, man, because they got a couple dollars, that these generational curses, you know what I mean, don't affect them. Ain't that what they say, Ashtawat? Let's break these generational curses. But you don't understand, man, these curses that are real, that are really plaguing our people, came from our God. That's in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, in the 15th verse. We got to understand. If I could, give me Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. Oh, for what? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We get Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. You want to know why, if you ask a Black, a Latino, or First Nation man and woman their nationality, you'll get a church denomination? Don't matter which one you ask. You can ask the upper class, middle class, or a lower class brother or brother or sister that's dirt poor like us. You ask each and every one of them the same question. You'll get many different answers besides the truth of us being the real Israelites. And why is that so? Why is that so? As a matter of fact, Raj, can you get it for me? Give me Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
We discontinued from our inheritance. We did. You have to understand it like this. At one point, right, we had everything. We had everything. Our God chose us, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. But because we disobeyed our God and following after the other nations and their customs, we've been discontinued from our inheritance. You want to know how we've been discontinued from our inheritance? We are, millions of miles away from our real homeland, Israel. Who's over there now? Faking the funk. The so-called Jew. And we say so-called Jew because he's not a Jew, but the devil that the Bible speaks of. Goldberg ain't a Jew. Heisenberg is not a Jew. Neither is Goldstein. They're not the real Jews. The real Jews is in that ghetto and in that barrio and on that concentration camp, the Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. We've been discontinued from our inheritance. Read on.
That I gave thee.
That I gave thee. Meaning our God gave this to us. Meaning the Lord ain't choose everybody. And this is another thing for you Christians out there that love to say, well, my God loves everybody. My God is not, my God is a respecter of persons. He chose all people. Why is that nowhere in the Bible? How come, you know what I mean, since I've come into the Israelite school of UPK and read this Bible and had it broken down to me, I missed that Daraj. I missed that class. You want to know why? Because it's not in here. God does not love everybody. I appreciate it. That's the thing. We've been discontinued from our inheritance on which our God gave us. Didn't give it to everybody. The Lord said if he'd have chose any other nation, they'd be serving him right now. Isn't that what he said, Malachi? If the Chinese man and woman was given these laws, statutes, and commandments, they would obey. If the oppressor was given this, they would obey. This is how I knew that we was the real Israelites of antiquity, Malachi. Like Christ said, you know what I mean? We are people that desire a sign. We are those same people, right? That watched the Most High, you know what I mean, split the Red Sea through Moses. We saw that with our own eyes. I want you to picture that. We saw that. We saw the Lord destroy our enemies, who are the Hamites, who are the Africans. We saw this in living color. And then what, Malachi and Moses leave us for 10 minutes? Now we want to go back to Egypt and erect new gods? Who is that stubborn today? Who? What people are that stubborn today? It's talking about us. We're the same ones. Go ahead, Ashtawat.
If I could, what's so heavy about what you're saying is, I was trying to explain, you know what I'm saying, to a sister. I believe she's Haitian, and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to tell her, like, the Bible exposed white people for what they did to us, like their real history, and the Apocrypha, and they was our enemies or whatever. And I'm thinking about it, I'm watching how hard the sister fight, and I think about how hard Christians fight for our oppressors. I'm like, to even listen to him is crazy, because it's like, he called it, like, he made us think that we was ugly.
Right.
Like, he made us hate ourselves. Like, when you sit there and you think who you really fighting for, like, he hates you, then he made you hate yourself and put you in slavery, and now you fighting for him to get into heaven. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I'm sitting there thinking about the mind, I'm like, damn, like, we destroyed as a people. Like, you're fighting for the person that made you hate yourself and your people.
And that's the thing. Give Ashtawak a hand. Because what's heavy about what Ashtawak is saying, and that's another thing. Immediately I thought about the doll test. They tell our sisters, you know what I mean, that, oh, you're ugly, you gotta have straight and blonde hair. Hell to the no. That's what's crazy, and that's what's insane, man, how Stockholm Syndrome is real. Because they make us hate one another. They promote that. What do they promote? And it goes to show you that we are those people. We're people robbed and spoiled, man. We don't know our nationality. We're quick to hate one another. I was rapping with a brother the day of my slavery. He was like, but those Mexicans, they're coming and taking. I said, what job? Before he even finished it, I said, nigga, what job are they taking? Do you want to go out there, you know what I mean, and work on that roof for 20 cents on the dollar, 10 cents on the dollar? No. I'm like, you didn't know that they was getting paid those wages. I'm like, and you were older, brother. They've always been in our neighborhood, and they've been going through the same hell that we've been going through. That's why the Lord said in Deuteronomy 28 and 54 that thy eyes shall be evil towards thy brother. We used to love one another, man. Another thing, in a lot of our so-called black cities, our Latino and First Nation brothers was right there with us. Rosewood, you know what I mean? Levi was with us. Ephraim was with us. We was cool. The tribes we always stuck together. Same thing in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We was the black man and the First Nation man and woman, we was Tawab, living together in peace and harmony. Now we wasn't serving our God, but we was together. We were together. And the oppressor saw that and did not stand it. The last thing that the oppressor wants us to do is to realize that black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, we have to come back together. We have to give our love back to our God and one another. That's why, you know what I mean? That's why, and I love that t-shirt, man. Black and brown, unite or die. Because we just gonna die if we don't unite. And we already dying. Go ahead, Ashtawat.
If I could, you just remind me of a scripture. When I first was like learning about, you know what I'm saying, Judah. And like Ephraim, and how, like, you know what I'm saying, it said Judah was going back to Ephraim. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was gonna have to dislike each other. So it's like, even with that sister, it's like Haitians, Dominicans going at it. Brothers and the Mexicans going at it. Like we the people of the Bible. Like, and our people, they don't want to understand that. Like, they don't want to let the Latinos be, you know what I'm saying, Israelites. When they got food, they Israelites too, and they in the same hell that we in. So it's heavy what you bringing out. I got that scripture if you want me to read it.
Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11, and verse 12. and he shall set up an ensign for the nations,
Mm-hmm.
and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
The outcast of Israel. First of all, ask your pastor that. Who's the outcast of Israel? Because in a lot of those silly clubhouse rooms, you know what I mean? They love to say, well, you know, I'm not sure about that Latino man and woman. Not to get too off topic. They're like, I'm not sure about that First Nation man and woman. But the exact claim that they had to being Israelites through the archaeology and the history and the Bible, we're doing the same thing, but they don't realize.
Right.
Go ahead, read on.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
And gather together the what?
Dispersed of Judah.
The outcast of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. Allah Panya, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakathah. All right. Salakia. Pass the class off the priest and general, 12 show General Mayaka up.
I want to talk a little bit about our king tonight, talk about our king, man, and his suffering, brothers. Like our king, Yahushua, loved his brothers, you understand? Loved his disciples, man. He loved this nation, you understand? So much that he gave his life to us, for us, man, and taught his disciples to do the same thing, man. Taught all of us, being his disciples in the I.S.U.P.K, taught us to do the same thing, you understand? Give me Revelation 13 and 10 real quick, You understand? Our king suffered for the brotherhood. And the foundation of the I.S.U.P.K is this brotherhood, man. Right. There's nothing else more important. There's nothing else more vital than this brotherhood. When I say brotherhood, I'm talking about sisterhood also. You understand? Us being a family, you got the ice for what? Us being a family, for what? And us gathering together, man, and being tight and being close and loving each other, that's the most important thing. That's our foundation here. And all of us have a duty. Every brother in here, every sister in here has a duty to let nothing mess with that. You understand? If you're hearing gossip, if you're hearing anybody gossip about anybody else in this school, you better take it like it's red alert. Report it, get it dealt with. And I don't need no strong. The water. I'll just take the ice. The water. You got a bigger cup? Yeah, come on. No sweat. There's a bigger cup of ice. I'm good for now. For water. Sounds a good drink, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So we all have to safeguard this brotherhood and this sisterhood in this school. You understand? If you're a brother, if you die, if your kid, officer, you die, you visit California, right? You know, Gadalhar is captain over California, right? Southern California, right? And you hear, you know, this is Gadalhar's zone. This is his people. You understand? And you happen to see a couple sisters in the corner. You having a drink. You in the corner enjoying yourself. Brothers all around. You in the corner somewhere. And you happen to hear a few sisters on the side of you, maybe close to you, just an earshot of you, talking about Officer Malakia. You understand? Like, yeah, I the brothers in Philly is all right, but I can't stand that Malakia. That Malakia is this and that, and he this and that, and this and that. What's your reaction? What do you do? Go ahead. So what you do first? The first thing? Check the sisters and then. Now, why would you do that? Why would you check the sisters when Gadalhar is over those sisters?
Yeah, by faith, sir. They're not in the spirit, not the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood.
Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. But you outrank them. You understand? You outrank them. And listen, even if it was somebody above rank, you heard saying something out of order. You, with all due respect, sir, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. You don't. You shouldn't speak like that. You this and that. We're gonna have to, deal with this. You understand what I'm saying, sir? With all due respect, you understand. If he hear you, he hear you. You know what to do from there. You understand. But listen, I don't ever want to hear a brother say, well, I heard the sisters talking about one of our captains or talking about an officer doing this and doing that. And I didn't say anything at the time because I didn't think I had the authority. What's wrong with that statement? I didn't think it wasn't my city. I didn't think I had the authority to stop these sisters from murmuring and talking like bitches on the street about priests of the Lord. What's the problem with that brother saying I didn't think I had the authority to stop them because it's not my city? Who younger? Astawat, Slocky.
It leave room for
people who have less rank to be abused. That's true. That's true. What was you gonna say, Malakia?
I was thinking about either like they showing fear and they don't want to like have an issue with that person.
What? Okay. What you was gonna say? Al?
They
Come.
also set a wrong
Like,
example.
Say again. Malakia Slack.
They would set a wrong example for that person.
That's true. Go ahead.
would it be like considered being cowardly?
Okay.
Not
What's the problem with any of us saying, I didn't think I had the authority to stop these sisters? Any of us. Go ahead.
I will, having authority or not having authority wouldn't like dictate you letting somebody know that they're offending you or a brother or the truth.
I.S.U.P.K.
Is it like how like in the scriptures say, oh, you gotta like rebuke your neighbor? Like you could be helping them out by keeping them on track too.
All of you correct, but go ahead, yeah, Johanna?
They come constantly, so these sisters.
Huh?
You know, they're sisters.
Elaborate.
You know, I mean, they supposed to know how to, get taught how to deal with it. You know, as far as like a conversation amongst other women, they should know they should be able to they should have to stop it.
That's true, but a lot of them come in here simple as hell. We just got the police there. You understand? But the problem with the statement is there's a scripture that say the man is head of the woman. You understand? So why would any brother in here think that they don't have the authority to check some sisters talking like women in the world against the men of the Most High? Go ahead,
Would that be like contradicting, being like intimidated or something?
Being
Brother being intimidated to like say something to the sister
is more serious than being intimidated because he ain't scared of them sisters. He ain't worried about them. He ain't intimidated. Go ahead.
Or he probably feels so like if a sister have a husband in the truth, have a man in the truth, like should he be the one checking her if she belongs to someone?
Listen, what it is disloyalty. That's what it is. It's disloyal. If you can't stop a sister or intervene when a sister talking about your brother that you stand on the streets and ready to die for, a priest of the Lord, then believing that you would die for these men is really you fooling yourself. You ain't gonna die for no man or say, I'm 10 toes down, UPK 1 West. I'm ready to die for my brothers and ride kill for my brothers. All that's bullshit. If you ain't gonna stop a sister from talking about your brother. I don't care if she's married or not. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize to her husband later, but I doubt if I'm gonna be wrong. Checking your wife for bad mouthing one of these priests in this school, you understand? Amongst us, to our face, right here amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm in her home and I hear her talking, then I realize I'm in Satan's house. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, my brother, I tell her husband, listen, when I was over your spot, you ran upstairs. I heard your wife talking about one of the brothers. Me, I might check in her own house, Salaki. You know what I'm saying? And deal with her husband later. You know what I'm saying? We'll rap later. Whatever GEN.YAHANNA say is done. You know what I'm saying? But at least in her home, she can do what she wants. It's her business. You know what I'm saying? She can say what she wants, think what she wants. But it's good to know that, to tell her husband, bring it back to the school, and we'll know who our enemies are and who not to have around us. You understand? Right. So my point for asking the question is never feel like you don't have the authority. Y'all kings and priests, man. You understand? You got the authority to protect this school. I don't care what nobody said. You understand? You got the authority to protect these brothers you love, man. I'm going to stand by and hear somebody talk about GEN.YAHANNA or shit, Officer Yediah or Officer Malakia. I ain't letting no sister talk about y'all. I ain't letting no brother talk about y'all. You understand? You violating me. I don't know how to feel no other way. I know when I was young in the truth, my rib used to do hair for the brothers, man, who was in the school. Oh, they was over me. She'd do their hair, real good at hair braiding. And I know one day, what happened? I told her something about her braid with one of the brothers. I said, listen, when you do the brother hair, I need you to, I forget if she did it too tight or took too long or something. Some critique I had about her braiding the brother's hair, and I said, listen. So next time you do the brother hair, do it like this or do it like that or speeding it up or whatever the problem was. I don't remember. She said, you act like I'm doing your hair. If I was doing your hair, I understand you saying something like that, but you act like I'm doing. brother, I think she caught it for a year straight. Speaking, because it was so caught me off guard, first of all. And I ain't the most spiritual man, especially when I was young. You understand? She said something about my brother. I mean, the feeling I had in my heart when she said it, I could have died. I could have died if she spoke against my brother like this. You know what I'm saying? Men that I didn't join this thing to die for. You understand? And I blazed on my own rig for a good long time. Reminded her of it damn near every week. You know what I'm saying? And told her watch her goddamn mouth. Oh, blazed on her good. I think she cried. I blazed on her. And then told her, you better treat my brother better than me. Fuck what I was wrong, what I don't like, and what I need. I'm telling you what my brother ain't like and how to deal with him. You better treat him better than me, goddammit. And I warred with her for about a year. You know what I'm saying? And now she's a tame kitten. You understand? And she don't speak bad about my brothers. That's for sure. You understand? Most of her correct. So you know what I mean? Just with that, just don't let no poison spread in here. You understand? We the guardians of this thing. You understand? We the watchmen of this thing. Right. And if they destroy this brotherhood, and if we let bitches come up in here backbiting us and spreading poisons, and any niggas in here just listening to them and not saying nothing, they disloyal. You understand? And they would not die for you, though they say it. They are not 10 toes deep in it for you, though they say it. You understand? We got to watch out for all of them, and it's all of our duties. So that's another subject. I wanted to get into my king tonight. You understand? And that's the spirit of brotherhood, and that's everything our king died for. So it is related. You understand? That's everything that he died for. So you got Revelation 13 and 10. Somebody grab Isaiah 53 and 3. You understand? Like the Most High, right? He's a God that loves justice, right? He loves justice. And if you call, if you know what I'm saying, if you cause someone to hurt, he's a God that wants to bring hurt to them. You understand? Because that's justice, right? That's only justice. If you murder someone unjustly, you understand, justice would call for them losing their life. You understand? That's the kind of God we got. We got a God of justice, a just God. Now, in his justice, he's a merciful God. You understand? He's merciful upon Israel. We don't even get the death that we deserve and should get. You understand? We don't even get the punishments that we all deserve and should get. We live in this hell called America, suffering a million things every day, a lot of horrible things in our life, problems coming up all the time, and it's nowhere near what we deserve. You understand? Nowhere near what we deserve. Read Revelation 13 and 10. The Most High is a God of fairness and justice, man. And we should be happy that we got a God like that, a real God that's alive and controls justice. He controls justice. He controls your hell. He controls your blessings. He controls it all. So to work for a God like that, let's be thankful, man, that he's a God that will get justice for us. You understand? And even the punishments we deserve that justice does call for our sins, he's even a merciful God. He's even a forgiving God upon his children. Read Revelation.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So if you lead a people into captivity, justice would call for you going into captivity. That's justice. There's no other way to give justice for that. You lead a race of people into captivity and beat them and torture them and abuse them, the Most High would call for justice. His spirit would call for justice, and that justice can only be them having that return back on them going into captivity. Read.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Now you kill with the sword. You a murderer. You go around killing, justice will call for somebody to kill you eventually. You understand? Justice will call for that. You understand? It said, he that killeth with the sword, what?
Must be killed with the sword.
That's an important word after that. He didn't say no debate. He didn't say, let's think about it. He said they must be killed with the sword. Now, there's a people out here murdering us and killing us. Killing us. There's a people out here that has us in captivity, man. And we did nothing to them to deserve them having us in captivity all this time. The terrorism that they put upon us. We did nothing to deserve that, but it's happening. And that's why we here learning these scriptures, going on these streets, suffering through our lives in the world just to make it to this world, to raise this nation up Because we doing this for justice. Y'all doing it for, is there any other reason why y'all doing it? I'm doing it for justice. Now, in that justice comes riches. You understand? In that justice, all the riches was taken from us. All the wonderful things were stolen from us. Justice will cause that we get all that back. That's justice. So I'm in here in the UPK for justice, because I know this is where God really is. This is where the Spirit of the Most High and Yahawashi is, the ISUPK, home of the truth. Right. So in this building, in these schools, raising up this nation, we do this for justice, man. And in justice is going to bring riches, getting all our riches back, getting all our power back. That's why I do this too. Power, man. You understand? Authority. You understand? Putting my foot on the people that's had their foot on my neck for so long, for 500 years plus. You understand? I do this for justice. That's why we're here, brothers. I know this is hard work and we getting it in, but there's a reward for this. You understand? A beautiful reward. Give me Isaiah 53:3. And you're going to see that our king, he walked this earth and he went through hell, man. Went through total hell. Like that hell you go through here in America, imagine the police constantly looking for you. Imagine being a fugitive and the police looking for you all the time. They hear you in one city, they swarm to that city to find you. You gotta disappear. The Lord got to make them not even see you. You understand? Imagine just constantly being hunted all the time while you trying to raise up a nation and teach and do the Lord's business, man. That's what he lived through. Ain't none of us fugitives. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you daddy.
I was gonna say, Joe, what you bring out is so heavy, sir, because Christ being hunted and being a fugitive, it's not like he was hiding. It's like he was outside in broad daylight, teaching our people. So that was all, sir.
No sweat. The only difference between then and now is Esau didn't learn from the past. That's why so many police. You ever wonder why you see all the videos where they say 10 cop cars for one little woman? 10 cop cars for one person? Y'all doing too much. Got their phones out there. Look at it. 1, 2, 11 patrol cars for one little person. For one, y'all out of order, man. Y'all, you understand? That's on purpose. The beast responds in all those numbers to show his force. And they hiring all the little racist white boys they can find to be police, you understand? So that they can be big in numbers. And when they get a call, the damn whole city swarm on it. You understand? So when they after you, boy, they after you. And it's a lot of them nowadays. The only difference between then and now is there's more of the Roman soldiers now. Now it's a whole hell of a lot more of them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them is your people hunting you down. You understand? Back then it wasn't as many, so you could be on the streets for a minute till the word got to your enemy, and then them old sellout priests that hated you. He where? That's what you heard. He there now. Then they get the troops to come check you out, and you knowing they coming, you trying to teach, drop some words down, teach, and then you gone. You up in Capernaum now. You know what I'm saying? You teach, do what you do. You know they coming. Now you back over Jerusalem, or you go to Bethlehem. You moving around constantly. You understand? And that was the life of our king. You understand? He ain't had no home. You understand? He said the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. You understand? Paraphrasing. Isaiah 53:3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 3. He is despised and rejected.
Can I get some more ice out the Slock? Go ahead, Slock, yeah.
He is despised and rejected of men.
He is despised and rejected of men. He came to do nothing but good, man, and raise up a nation, man. But once again, the leaders of his nation hated him because he was a threat to their power. Right. He was wiser than them. They were jealous of him. Even Pilate knew. Pilate knew that they chose him over Barabbas for envy. For envy. And it said in the scriptures, they knew they envied him because of his words, and they couldn't touch him. And they knew if his words went out and they left him alone, that everybody would follow him because he was just wiser. And that wisdom that they saw on him that made them so angry was the Spirit of the Most High. They saw on him and they knew they didn't have it. So just like Cain, rather than try to get it, right? Rather than try to find out how to get the Spirit of the Lord on you, they want to get rid of the one who has it on. Just like Cain did. That's what they did to our king. You understand? Read that again.
He is despised and rejected of men.
Despised and rejected of men. The same men that he came here to die for and save. Read.
A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
And acquainted with grief, man. Because it had to be a hard thing to be so wise, come down here knowing you're going to die for these people, and these same people treating you like they're treating you, man. These same people, the majority was against Christ. Go ahead.
And we hid as it were our faces from him.
And we hid our faces from him, man. We turned our backs on him. We turned our backs on him. Like, we disregarded it. For all the miracles, all the things he did. Listen, he brought Lazarus from the dead, right? Right or wrong? The man was dead. And then he came back to life. And everybody saw him. And everybody knew Lazarus was dead. Lazarus realized he was dead. But guess what? In the end, Lazarus left him. Lazarus wasn't one of his disciples in the end. Lazarus wasn't there. Imagine that. And he had to suffer through that bullshit, man. Getting treated like that. People disregarding him like that, man. He's our king. Go ahead.
He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Right, we esteemed him not. We didn't look at him like he was anything great. Why? Because you had the nigger leaders putting the word like he's a liar, he's a blasphemer, he speaks against God. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. Let's get rid of him. They spreading poison throughout the nation, trying to get everybody to turn on him. Why? Because they didn't want to lose their precious seats. They didn't want the Romans to find out that this guy should be in charge instead of them. Mess up that paper. You understand? Mess up that authority, that little crumb piece of authority that the white man gives us, the rich of us. You understand? Little piece of his crumb. He got all this. He take a crumb and give it to the wealthy amongst us, and they actually think they're better than the rest of us. Go ahead, huh?
In this chapter right here, this is talking. I know somewhere in Isaiah it was speaking on Christ. This is talking about Christ, prophecy, right?
This is a prophecy about Christ. These precepts here, come. And again, a lot of the Bible, that's the point of it. The Bible's like a puzzle. In the Old Testament, go through stories and different things, but pieces. Scripture say here a little, there a little. Pieces of this puzzle you take out, and the Lord got a whole nother vision for you to see. You understand? And these precepts that here is a prophecy about our King Yahushua. Go ahead.
Verse 4, surely he hath borne our griefs.
He borne our griefs. That's important to remember. Like he borne our griefs. The things we're supposed to be punished for. Once again, the Most High is a God of justice. And it would be just for the Lord to kill all of us because of all the disgusting things that we said. We ain't even supposed to be in this room. All the things that we did. You done celebrated Christmas. Once you done celebrated Christmas, man, you cut off from the nation. But once again, the Lord's mercy is bringing us back to the fold. But now, if he's bringing us back to the fold, who's going to answer for all of our fuck-ups? Excuse my language. Who's going to answer for all of our past transgressions? He put it on his favorite one, man. He put it on his champion. He put all that justice that we supposed to get, he put on him, man. He borne our griefs. Go ahead.
And carried our sorrows.
And carried whose sorrows? Ours. Whose sorrows out? Read it again.
And carried our sorrows.
Our sorrows. The pain we supposed to feel. The sadness we were supposed to feel, he did it. So you better know any problems in your life right now is nothing compared to what it should be. Right. We got to always remember that. It's nothing compared to what it should be. Read.
Yet we did esteem him stricken.
Like we looked at him like he wasn't nothing, man. Give us Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. We looked at him like he wasn't nothing, like he wasn't better than a man we knew was a thief. A man that we knew was a criminal. We chose him over our king. Why? Because black leaders said to do it. Black leaders who can look out for you, who can get you things, who can cut through red tape for things. We chose them. Well, man, if I do this for the priest, they're going to remember me and look out because I need this. I need my mortgage and I need this and that dealt with my house. They can get me that. I got you, priest. I got you. We're going to get this nigga. I got you. Give us Barabbas. He's a liar. He said he's going to raise the temple of God in 3 days. That's blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? He got them to lie and they being corrupt also, and pleasers of men and all that there. They tried to please the priests and the leaders, black leaders, by choosing and going against Christ, by choosing Barabbas, choosing other men. Read on. And I bring up Barabbas because I'm gonna go into the story of when they did that. Go ahead.
Smitten of God.
Smitten of the Most High. The Most High smote him, man. Smote him. You understand? And we looked at him like the Most High must be against you now. Look at you. Read.
And afflicted.
And afflicted. Go ahead. Like this is justice. Justice that we were supposed to get. But our king, man, he was found worthy to take on all that justice, all our punishments, all the things that we were supposed to be hurt for, all the hurt, all the sorrow, all the pain that we were supposed to get. He took it on, man. That's how much love and brotherhood he had. He took it on. Go ahead. He was afflicted, man. He was smitten by the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions.
And he was wounded for our transgressions, our sins. Go ahead.
He was bruised for our iniquity.
Every piece of hurt, everything they did to him, that's what they were supposed to do to the nation, man. That's what our enemies were supposed to do to us, but he took it on. Go ahead.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him. Go ahead.
And with his stripes we are healed.
And with his stripes we are healed. He was chastised, right? And because of his chastisement, we will one day see peace. We'll see peace, man. We don't see it now, except when we amongst each other, or in the schools or at our events. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time we see peace. We go home, go to our slaveries, go to these things in the world, our careers. Ain't no peace out there, not in America. But because he was chastised, we will see peace one day. You understand? Because he was, the Lord gave him stripes in so many different ways. He suffered. We're going to be healed because of that. You know, let's give our king a hand. For what? Right. Give me Matthew 27 and 22. Matthew 27 and 22. I'm going to read down to 25. Whoever got it. Somebody else hold Matthew 26 and 62. Go ahead.
Book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 22. Pilate saith unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ?
Right. He said, what am I going to do to Yahushua, who he had a reputation. They was calling him the Christ, which means the anointed or the king. That's what they was calling him. And black leaders took that like, oh, well, that's blasphemy. You can't call him the king. That's blasphemy. You can't call him the anointed. That's blasphemy. And if you blaspheme in Israel, you could be put to death. You understand? And these cats was quick to put anybody to death or accuse anybody of blasphemy that's against them. It's hurting their reputation. You understand? Read that again.
Pilate saith unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ?
Which is called your anointed. Go ahead.
They all said unto him, Let him be crucified.
They said, let him be murdered, man. That's what crucify is, to murder. Let him be crucified. Let him be put to death. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And the governor said, Why? What evil have he done?
Like he hadn't even heard a proper accusation to put this man to death right now. And the Lord was smiting the hell out of his woman in her dreams, and giving her visions, horrible visions, to where she told him, listen, we don't want nothing to do with this man. I'm suffering through dreams because of this guy. I'm being tormented in my sleep because of him. Let him go. Get rid of him. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Go ahead.
But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified.
Like he said, what's the charge? What's the evil? And then imagine they just, what man? We want to kill him. Put him to death. Put him to death. The whole nation. You understand? Now he got to deal with this nigger shit. Excuse my French. Pilate got to deal with all this nigger shit, right? He dealing with these people, right? He coming to him. He's saying, y'all want to put this guy to death, The Romans gave them a little authority amongst their own people, a little section, a little piece of crumb. You understand? Now they coming to him. Listen, we need this guy put to death, man. He breaking our laws and he blaspheming. He doing this. And Pilate saying, well, I ain't really hearing the accusations. What has he done wrong? You know, they calling him the anointed. They saying he's the anointed. What has he done wrong to deserve this death? He tried to ask, explain this to me, because he want to not deal with it because of his wife. So they said, listen, put him to death, man. It was an uproar to put him to death. Go ahead.
Verse 24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing.
Like he knew these Negroes wasn't listening. You understand? These Negroes wasn't listening, and it's going to be an all-out war and fight that he got to deal with. He don't want to deal with all this stuff, man. These Negro problems. Go ahead, Nicole.
If I could, like we had other revolutions, against them, so they war cost, of course they was a stronger power at the time. The Lord wasn't with us, so they didn't want to have to kill us all over one man. So they're like,
right, current, and of course they work with these black leaders. Pilate was familiar with these black leaders. He just wanted to know, well, why y'all want to kill him? And they, no, we gonna put him to death. He does, this. All right. He knew they wasn't listening. You understand? And why disrupt his? They had a good thing going. Our enemies, the leaders of Israel, kept us pacified, kept us at bay, kept us in order, and it was a fine thing. They don't want to mess that. I'll press it. He don't want to mess that up. If we all go to church and just say amen, he won't even bother us. You understand? If we go to church and just be slaves and the police roll up, we say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you need, sir? What you need? You understand? They happy with that. They wouldn't want to mess that up. So Pilate, because of all these Negro problems, this and that, he's going to let them go ahead and deal with their problems. Go ahead, I agree.
Come on. But that rather a tumult was made. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude.
Right. He took water and he washed his hands, man, saying the sign is saying he's innocent of this. This is not on him. This is not his call. He freeing himself for anything, is just to come back for this. Go ahead. Again, in ancient times, man, even though they worshiped a lot of idols and different things, humankind was more spiritual. You understand? They understood that there was unseen forces out there at work, and that what they call karma now, and different things come back to you because of a God. Some of them didn't know what God was, and they worshiped statues as gods, but they understood, just like y'all remember, who was it? Jonah was in the boat, right? And the storms came. They knew this storm about to kill us, man. Something is wrong. There's a God somewhere, doing this. We got to figure this out so that we can be safe. You know what I'm saying? And even during this time, they understood, there's a lot more spiritual than now. Now in these last days, our oppressor is very smart. He damn near ripped spirituality from us, and with the understanding of our God and the idols and these holidays, and really downplaying a God. And God don't know, invisible thing control us. That's where black people get it from, because Esau set it up. There's really no strong belief in God. And even if you do believe in a God and you're Christian, it's like, he ain't going to hurt me, so I still do what I want. I still do what I want and just say, God, you know my heart. I still love Jesus, even though, I'm breaking every law in the book. My heart still loves Jesus. And then they walk away with that. You know what I'm saying? Because they really don't believe in a God. You understand? Read.
I am innocent.
What verse? Call out the verse.
The book of Matthew chapter 27, verse 24. Towards the bottom, towards the middle. Towards the bottom, sorry.
No sweat. Go ahead.
I am innocent of the blood of this just person.
He said, I don't see no wrongdoing in this person. So I'm on my verdict is that he's just. He's innocent. I don't hear that. I don't hear no death penalty offense. He's innocent. That's my verdict. So I'm washing my hands of it. You Negroes, do your Negro thing. Do what you want. But nigga, really. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I've heard people using this term, like, I wash my hands of you. Say, like, damn, I'm a problem with you, or no business with you.
Right.
Would this be in the same spirit as, like, when it was used, saying that, am I my brother's keeper? It was like a disrespectful term. Because first he was
Yeah, it's basically saying the same thing. I ain't got nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's his business. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Now washing my hands could be slightly different because my brother's keeper is, I'm not my brother. Am I my brother's keeper? Meaning he do his thing, I do my thing. We two separate things. I don't know nothing about. Why you asking me? Go to him. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's that. My brother's keeper. But washing your hands is something is about to happen. I don't agree with what's about to happen. I don't want no repercussions from what happened. You understand? So you involved, but you just trying to free yourself from involvement. You know what I'm saying? Whereas my brother, I'm not my brother's keeper. You know involvement. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only difference. Read on.
See ye to it.
See ye to it. Y'all deal with that, man. I'm done. I'm free of this. Let it go on the record that I think he's just and innocent. I don't see the crime. Y'all handle it y'all way. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then answered all the people, and he said, his blood be on us and on our children.
They asked for it. Israel asked for it. Let his blood be on us and our children. And it has been. Go ahead, Gumlakia.
So how you saying, like, he's saying he don't see it, even though he actually has the authority to, like, stop it if he wanted to. So him saying he washed his hands, he's not really free of it. He's just acting like it.
Yeah. He ain't innocent. You know what I'm saying? He ain't innocent. He has the authority to do whatever, like you said. But rather than upset this thing I got set up with these Negroes, these Jews back then, you understand? Rather than turn the cart or upset the apple cart, I'm gonna get them what they want. They sound like they're real passionate about this. They want this. My woman, she going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because she having dreams about this guy. I want to let him go. You know what I'm saying? For her sake. You understand? Because he know it means something. You understand? He want to let him go. The people under me that I oppress, they going crazy. It's a damn mess. I'm gonna have to send police. I'm gonna have to send guards, and I'm gonna have to do a whole thing to figure this out because they going crazy. All right, listen, I'm gonna be done with this. I'm being free of this. You know what I'm saying? What his wife wanted. I'm being free of this and clean. Y'all see to it. Y'all deal with it y'all way. That way, he just putting it in the air, I guess, what they say. That, this is on y'all. And they said it. Let it be on us and our children. You understand? Did you want to say something, Dad?
Oh, no.
Okay. Read on.
Verse 26. Then release.
Let's go jump down to 28.
Verse 28. And they stripped him and put him on him a scarlet robe.
You see that? They stripped him. They started to make fun of him. Now, black people, once you get a mob of black people that, they say this guy, y'all, it's been the stories, it's been real life. I've heard real stories that and our testimonies are real stories where in a black or Hispanic neighborhood, they'll find the cat that been molesting the kids in the hood, in the community. They find him, they find out he been looking for him, and one day somebody see him on the street. And they holler out in the neighborhood. It was big in New York. Or Ephraim, and Judah too. They come out. They somebody spot the cat that molested somebody's sister or a child, and brother, a few people will run up on him. Then the rest of them will run up on him. Then you got the whole hood run up on this cat, and it gets horrible. You understand? It gets horrible. Now we in America, so a lot of times we don't go too far, not in public. You understand? But y'all ever see them Hamite videos where somebody is found guilty or they say he did something? Man, they beat this cat to a pulp, put tires on him, and set the tires on fire. They beat him and strip him naked. This Hamite, strip him naked and bloody him, hit him with rocks, put tires on. I said, why the fuck they putting the tires on? Then they set the tires on fire to burn his ass alive. Go ahead.
I saw this video on World Star, sir, about Levi. When Levi did the pedophiles, he stoned him.
God. Like in other countries, boy, you'll be they put you in front of the city and deal with you. You burn you alive. Like them tires burning, he on fire, and he ain't dying. He ain't dying right away. The fire sometimes go out, and they go beat him and light it again. So this hours of torture and burning. I said, woo, that's rough. I think he's a Hamite. I thank the Lord. He's a Hamite. I probably couldn't watch it. You know what I'm saying? But that's justice. So now Israel back then, they say this cat is against God. The leaders are lying. He's a blasphemer. He do this and he do that. They start losing their mind. They start now. Oh, he want to be king. He want to be the anointed. They did what? Read 28 again.
And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe.
So they ripped his clothes off. Then they put on a scarlet robe. Who knows why? Why they put a scarlet robe on him? Ash?
If I could, isn't like that color of red, like a sign of like royalty or something?
Yeah, it's like they mocking him being called the anointed or the king of the Jews. So they mock him. They put a royal looking a robe on him, strip him naked first, then put the royal robe on him. Read. And again, for him to suffer this. No, and these people I'm here for. Hard-headed and stiff-necked and rebellious. You know what I mean? Doing this to me, you understand? He was patient, boy, and merciful, and he understood the mission. That's the most important thing. He understood the mission. He understood that he had to be patient through these times. Go ahead.
And then they had plaited a crown of thorns. They put it upon his head.
Then they took thorns, man, and made a crown with thorns, and then stabbed it on his head, man. And put it on his head. Thorns, because they knew it would stab him all in his head, in the skull. And they put the crown on him. Go ahead, king, the robe. Now you got the crown with thorns stabbing him. Read.
And a reed in his right hand.
And then they put a reed, a staff in his hand. Go ahead, like a king's reed, staff. Go ahead.
And they bowed the knee before him.
And they mocked him. Get on in there. Look at the great king bleeding on his head from the thorns. Look at the great king naked with a scarlet robe. They bowing, they mocking him. Go ahead.
And mocked him, saying, O King of the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And they spat upon him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head.
They spit on our king, man. Spit on him. Then they took the staff out of his hand and hit him upside the head with the damn thing. They beat him with the staff. Go ahead.
And after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off from him, and put his own raiment on him.
So they took the robe that they put on him to mock him as a king, and then put his regular clothes back on him. Go ahead.
And laid him away to crucify him.
And led him away to murder him. Master then gave us permission. Now we're going to go murder him. Go ahead.
And as they came out, they found a man of
Cyrene,
Simeon, by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross.
Go ahead.
And when they come into a place called
Golgotha,
that is to say a place of a skull. They gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall.
So they gave him like a poison, a type of poison, right? Go ahead.
And when he had tasted it thereof, he would not drink.
He spit it out. He didn't drink it. Go ahead.
And they crucified him, and parted his garments.
So then they eventually murdered him, right? Parted his garments, ripped it up in pieces. Go ahead.
Casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets. They parted my garments among them.
Another Old Testament precept and prophecy about Christ from the Old Testament. Go ahead.
And upon my vesture did they cast lots.
Showing you that there's many precepts in the Old Testament about Christ. Even though it might be talking about something in specific that back then, those are pieces of a puzzle prophesying for the future. Go ahead.
And sitting down, they watched him there. And set up over his head his, what is that?
Accusations. This is their charge. This is what they charging him with. Go ahead.
This is Jesus, the King of the Jews.
This is Yahushua, the King of the Jews. That's black. That would be blasphemous to say in that day, especially if the priests don't approve. If the leaders and the black priests and the scribes don't approve, and you saying you the king, you the anointed one, which is basically what a king is, then they can charge you with blasphemy because they don't understand. Read.
Then were there 2 thieves sacrificed with him,
crucified
with him,
Uh-huh.
one on the right hand and the other on the left.
Right.
And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their hands.
They reviled him, meaning another word for mock and to chastise and to make fun of. They reviled him, wagging their heads, and I can see it. I see black people. Look at you, look at this nigga head, man. Look at wagging their heads, reviling our king, who came for their stupid behinds, man. Read.
And saying, thou that destroyeth the temple and buildeth it in 3 days, save thyself.
He said, hey, I thought you was the guy that destroyed the temple and built it in 3 days. What's wrong? How you build a whole temple and destroy it in 3 days? You can't save yourself. Come on, save yourself. Read.
Come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scroll.
So now the people mocked him and made fun of him, saying, come off the cross if you the son of the Most High. If you build a temple in 3 days, you understand, save yourself. You understand, if you the son of the Most High, which is another charge, you understand, come down from the cross. Read 41 again.
Likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scrolls.
Scribes. They roll with the priests. Now they would probably be like deacons of today under the pastor. You understand? They roll with the priests and record. They do all the record. That's what a scribe means, to write. They keep the recordings and the records. You understand? Go ahead.
He saved others, himself he cannot save.
Now this the black people. This the leaders here. Of course, influencing the multitude. He saved a ton of miracles, right? Right, sure he did. He did all the miracles and saved people and brought people to life and made the blind see, right? He did all that, but he can't save himself. Like they wanted him to call for power in front of everybody from heaven for them to believe. You understand? For them to believe. Read, but in the scriptures, y'all familiar with the pieces where he say, listen, even if one came from the dead, the people wouldn't believe. You understand? Because it happened. He brought people from the dead. And then even that person left and didn't follow him no more. Read.
If he be the king of Israel, let him now come down from the cross.
Right.
And we will believe him.
If he the king of Israel, let's see the heavens open up. Let the Most High step out and destroy everything and bring them off that Christ. Then we going to believe it. Which is a lie. The Lord can show them all types of power and signs, and they still won't believe. They'll still, look what happened when we came out of Egypt. They saw the miracles. They saw the chariots. They saw the fire at night, the smoke during the day. They saw the Most High separating the Egyptians from them. They saw the sea open the hell up. And they walked through, and they saw water on both sides as they walked through. And then they saw the sea close on their enemy when they got through. And these niggas still wanted to go back to Egypt after that. You understand? They saw the water turn to blood. The firstborn of every house in Egypt died. They was there to witness that. Those are called miracles. And they still wanted to go back to Egypt and didn't trust Moses. We are horrible people, man. But we can be great.
Right.
That's the good thing. We can be great. Y'all examples of it. You understand? Read on. Most High K. Go ahead.
He trusted in God.
He trusted in the Most High. Go ahead. That's what they saying. They mocking him. Let him come off that cross. Let him, if he the king of Israel, he saved people and can't save his own damn self. Go ahead.
Let him deliver him now.
If he trusted in the Most High, right? He's supposed to be his son, right? Let the Most High deliver him. Go ahead.
If he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God.
Let the Most High save him then. If he would have him, if the Most High thought he was his son, he'd save him. He said, I'm the Son of God. Let's see if the Most High saved him since that's his son. And the fact that it didn't happen, they could say, you see, the Lord wasn't with him. The Lord wasn't with him. The Lord would have saved him if he was with him. That's what they'll tell the people. You understand? Go to Matthew 26 and 62. 26th chapter and the 62nd verse.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 62. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee?
Right, go ahead.
But Jesus held his peace.
He held his peace. He didn't say anything. But we had 26 and 22. 62, right? 63, go ahead.
But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God.
Like they got mad. They wanted to hear the people. They questioned him in front of the people so that the people could hear what he said. So that he could say something, one of his metaphors or one of his teachings that they don't understand. So they could say, you see that? He got a devil in him. Let's put him to death. They need the charge though. But they're trying to convince the people that he's chargeable of death. Go ahead.
That thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God.
That's why I say, he said, and the high priest answered, I adjure thee. I adjure thee, meaning, man, I order you. I order you to answer this question. I order you. They wanted him to say something that they could charge him with. Go ahead. And they said, what? That thou tell us whether what?
That thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God.
Go ahead, because once again, they could charge him with death. If he ain't got no proof that they understand. You call yourself the Son of God, that's blasphemy. Go ahead.
Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said, nevertheless.
Thou hast said, meaning you said everything. You done said it already. Go ahead. Nevertheless,
I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power.
Like you're going to see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power. Go ahead.
And coming in the clouds of heaven.
And coming in the clouds of heaven. He telling them, he said, listen, you done said everything. But nevertheless, one day you're going to see me sitting on the right hand of power, and you're going to see me coming with the clouds of heaven. He's speaking like he's a God in their minds. He act like he's the Most High. That's blasphemy. Go ahead.
Verse 65. Then the high priest rent his clothes.
Listen, it was so. He said that little bit, and they went crazy. Oh my God! Rip! They ripped his clothes, man. That's what we do when we sorrow, and then when something horrible happens, we rent our clothes and put on sackcloth and sadness and all that. There, the high priest ripped their clothes, and all he said was, "Hereafter, you're gonna see the Son of Man on the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven." They ripped their clothes. Go ahead.
Saying, he hath spoken blasphemy.
Blasphemy! Go ahead.
What further need have we of witnesses?
We don't even need no more witnesses. Everybody just heard him. Go ahead.
Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy.
Go ahead.
What think ye?
So what do y'all think? Go ahead.
They answered and said, he is guilty of death.
And they said, yeah, that's blasphemy. He got to go. He guilty of death. Put him to death. Read.
Then did they spit in his face.
There we go again. Read.
And buffeted him.
Buffeted him. Beat him. Go ahead.
And others smote him with the palms of their hands.
Smacking him and punching him. Go ahead.
Saying, prophesy unto us, thou Christ. Who is he that smote thee?
Who is he that smote thee? Because I think at this time they had him blindfolded. So his head covered. So they beat him and punch him and then said, prophesy unto us who hitting you. You understand? Go to Romans 5 and 6. Romans 5 and 6. This is a beautiful thing. It's good to understand what our King went through. You understand? Good. Let me see. Oh, man, I got time's sake. I ain't going to get to everything. Romans 5 and 6. Read.
Book of Romans chapter 5, verse 6.
Come.
For when we were yet without strength,
Right.
in due time Christ died for the ungodly.
Right, and that's what he did, man. We didn't deserve it. You just read, you see, the leaders of our nation, man, and the ones that loved those wicked leaders, they was against Christ, man. They was against him. But he died for them, you understand? He still gave them a chance. His death gave even them a chance to get right. He died for the ungodly. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For scarcely for a righteous man will die, will one die.
Right, for scare, meaning for somebody righteous, it's hard to find a man that'll die for even a good brother. You understand? You go out in the world, people won't even die for a good brother. They won't risk, well, I ain't risking my life, even if they're good brothers. I heard a brother did a prank one time. He called some guy and act like he was stuck in his closet in his house, and he whispered. He said, I'm at my house. This is Rakisha brother. He said, oh, yeah, this is Rakisha brother. How you doing? He said, I'm good. He said, why you whispering, man? He said, I'm stuck in a closet, and they broke into my house, and they in here now. He said, what? They in your house right now? Man, shut up. Be quiet. Don't let them hear you. They're going to kill you. He said, I'm going to call the cops. He said, no, don't call the cops. He said, you don't want me to call the cops? And they're in your house right now, and you hide in the closet? He said, I got illegal stuff in my house. He said, man, you better not get, they gonna kill your monkey ass. You know what I'm saying? He said, can you come down and get, he said, man, I ain't coming down to get you. That ain't gonna happen. He said, I'm sure I can call the law. He said, I can call the police because they're gonna kill your ass, but I'm surely not coming down there. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna get no man in the world to come and die for you. You understand? Not, you know what I mean? Not in the world. That's rare. It's saying that's what scarcely means. That's rare to find somebody who's willing to die for you in the world, even if you're a good brother. Go ahead.
Come. Yet,
peradventure, yep.
For a good man, some would even dare to die.
So now, it's scarce to find for a righteous man. To die for a righteous man. Now, for a good man, somebody who ain't so righteous, but he's just a good cat. You understand? You wouldn't even dare to die for him. Go ahead.
Verse 8. But God commended his love towards us.
But the Most High showed his great love for Israel by what? Keep going.
And that while we were yet sinners.
While we were sinners and disgusting and evil and traitors to the Most High and disobedient. Go ahead.
Christ died for us.
He still came and died for us, man. He still came and died for us. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Much more then, being now justified by his blood.
And so now, once again, remember we read all of the sufferings we were supposed to get, all of the punishments the Most High was supposed to give to us. He gave to his only begotten son, man. He gave to our king. You understand? So it said much more than being now justified by his blood. So now the Most High ain't going to charge us for our past crimes and our past sins and our past adultery and getting high and robbing each other and hurting each other. He ain't going to charge us for that. We in the truth now, and all of that, he done put on Christ now. He done put on Christ. And we justified by Christ's blood. Meaning we made innocent. We made clean now. Go ahead.
We shall be saved from wrath through him.
And we definitely will be saved from wrath through him. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For if when we were enemies, we were
reconciled, meaning brought back to the Most High. Even when we were enemies and disobedient to the Most High, he gave us a chance to come back to him. We was reconciled with the Most High. We got another shot to make it right. Go ahead.
Reconciled to God by the death of his son.
And our king dying is what gave us that a chance to come back and be reconciled. Go ahead.
Much more, being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
We shall be saved by his life. Now it's our duty to live the life that Christ lived. Live the life that he taught us to live. You understand? Through his words and through his examples. Now we can be saved by his life. That's why we ambassadors for Christ. You understand? We represent him wherever you go. Wherever you go, always know that you represent Yahweh, our king. You understand? And he don't deserve nothing less than your loyalty and your professionalism. You understand? Read.
Verse 11. And not only so, but we also joy in God through our Lord Jesus Christ. By whom we have now received the atonement.
Right. And we joy in the Most High through our King. We show the Most High that we are thankful for this mercy that he's given us by showing him we're going to walk as Christ walked. We're going to walk in his life and represent his life well. 1 Peter 4:12. We're going to represent his life well. You understand? Somebody get Luke 22:41. I might have to make these my last two. 1 Peter 4:12. Go ahead.
When we drop this, sir?
Yes, we done with that. Yes, good. Whoever get 1 Peter 4:12, read that. Somebody else, Luke 22:41.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial.
Fiery trial. And he started off with beloved. Everybody ain't beloved by the Most High. Amos 3rd chapter, the Lord told Israel, you only have I known. That known means love. You the ones I love, you the ones I'm close to. You the ones I do wonderful and glorious things for. You my people. That's what it means to know us. You understand? And now he calling us beloved. He talking to the Israelites. Beloved, go ahead.
The fiery trial.
Read it again from the top.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial.
The fiery trial. The fiery trial. Think it not strange. Like in America, that's all we go through is fiery trials. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all we go through is fiery trials, but think it not strange. Say strange.
Strange concerning the fiery trial.
Right. Don't think your troubles or your problems is strange, because they're not. They're not strange. They common. They common. The Lord got us all going through these things. You understand? Read.
Which is to try you.
Which is to try you. That's the point. To test you. To test your loyalty. To see if you're going to still remain obedient to the Most High. Go ahead.
As though some strange thing happened unto you.
Right. Nothing strange happened to you. Those problems that you're going through, we done went through 10 times worse. Them little troubles you crying over, we done went through 10 times worse. Oh, she hurt your feelings. She hurt your feelings. Guess what? 10 that hurt our feelings. You understand? Ain't nothing different on the earth happening to you that ain't happened to all of us. Go ahead. Call out the verse.
Verse 13. But rejoice in so much as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering.
Damn right. His suffering, now it's our turn. You understand? We ain't getting what we deserve. So the little bit of suffering we getting, man, take that and smile. And say, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai, because it couldn't be worse. I deserve worse. You understand? And just know that he trying you for a little while. Trying you. Go ahead.
That when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
So now Christ suffered, right? And we suffering in this hell. Take it with joy, man. That you suffering because our king suffered. That's why we suffer in America. You understand? And so now, step it up and be glad also that when he returned, read that last life again, that when his what? Glory?
That when his glory shall be revealed.
That when he come back to gain his power and authority and wealth and rulership. Go ahead.
Ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
We gonna get some of that power and authority and rulership. We suffer like our king suffered. You understand? Now we walk in the life and the spirit that he told us to walk in while he was here. So when he come back and gain life back on this earth, we gonna gain life also. Real life and real freedom and real rulership and real power, man. Go ahead.
Verse 14. If ye be reproached by the name of Christ, happy are ye.
Look at that. Look at that. If you do get reproached or somebody disrespecting you or somebody hating you, Christ said, no, that they hated me first. So if you get reproached for the name of Christ or for for being an Israelite, for being I.S.U.P.K, you understand? If you get disrespected or somebody hates you because of that, or you get reproached because of that, go ahead.
For the spirit of glory.
It's like, happy are ye. Be happy. Be happy. Go ahead.
Happy are ye. For the spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you.
See, they don't think like that in the world. When problems happen, Oh, you in that cult, nigga, get away from me, this and that and this and that. And the world, them is fighting world. You ready for your click, clack, clack. You understand? Get the blip. You understand? Somebody say something wrong to you, wearing them boots, man. Nobody scared of you. You braids and F y'all Israelites, man. Be happy, man. The Lord said, count it a blessing. Because what it say, that's heavy. What he just said. He said, where we at? For the spirit of glory and the Most High resteth upon you when those things happen, man. You understand? He found Christ worthy to suffer horrible things like this. And now we suffering the same thing? Being righteous? That's glory. Go ahead,
If I could, sir, like, in the world, you'll be glorified for being a drug dealer.
Yes.
You will be shut down, in the world when you follow the Lord.
God.
Many prophets before us, and that's why Christ said, I was ready to say it earlier, sir, like Christ said, man, don't worry, because they hated me first.
Damn right. Damn right.
And we see today, his words wasn't alive.
God.
People would hate Christ if Christ was alive right now.
Yes. They think they love him. All them Jesus stickers and giving them the wheel. You wouldn't give him no damn wheels. You know what I'm saying? You hate our king, man. And I bring this up all the time, how mothers, them old mamas and them grandmamas and aunties raising these drug dealers, they be telling the drug dealers to stop, get off them streets, baby. It's dangerous out there. You won't be at the house, is wrong. But they still love him. They love him and hold him and say, let me pray for you. Come to church Tyrone. Come to church this Sunday. Pastor asked him about you. Come to church. Get off them streets. They say still love him and cry for him and all that. But boy, you tell me, Israelite, man, I found out we the real Jews. Christ was a black man. White man is the devil. Oh my God.
Right.
You racist and you the devil. You got the devil in you. Get out my house. They will actually stop loving you. You understand? Won't be no support. Won't be no, oh, you believe in that crazy stuff, baby, but I love you. No, you get out of my house. That's scarier to them than the nigga that's going to bring them AKs to your door, in your window. You understand? Yeah, that's scary. It's scarier saying the white man's the devil. You know what I'm saying? And Christ is black. That's scarier to black people than, a nigga who got people after him sleeping in the room next to you. You know what I mean? So read.
Come. But on your part, he is glorified.
Go ahead.
Come. Verse 15. But let none.
I'm gonna skip the rest. Y'all understand, right? I'm gonna finish. Go to Luke. Let me see. Luke 41 and Luke 22 and 41.
God. Luke chapter 22, verse 41.
Somebody get Hebrews 2:16. Go ahead.
And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast.
So now Christ separated. They teaching Christ separated from them about the distance of throwing a rock. Go ahead.
And kneeled down and prayed.
And so he prayed to the Most High. You understand? Another proof that Jesus is not the Most High because he praying to the Most High. You understand? And it would be kind of psychotic to pray to yourself. You understand? Read.
Saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me.
If thou be willing, remove this cup from me. What was the cup Christ was talking about? Malachiah?
Them suffering is death.
Him suffering. That whole thing. Thorns stabbed on his head, being hit with a staff, being stripped naked and being made mockery of, and smacked in the face and blindfolded and punched and beaten, saying, who prophesied, who beat you? You understand? All them things he had to go through, and then finally getting nailed up on a cross. Getting nailed up on the cross and being executed. He said, read it again. From the top.
And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast. And kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me.
If it be your will, Father, meaning it got to be your will, remove this cup from me. Meaning, if I don't have to go through this agony, because it was agony. He didn't just sail through this stuff in a breeze. He handled these things and suffered and hurt from these things just like we would hurt. Read real quick Hebrews 2:16. Who got that? I'm going to come back to you, Malachiah, and read that again. Hebrews 2:16. Christ had flesh just like we had flesh. He wasn't no super soldier. They didn't stab them thorns on his head. And he said, yes, it doesn't hurt me. No, it hurt. And he bled. When they punch him in the mouth, it hurt. He had skin, blood, flesh with pain receptacles and nerves. So they beat him in the face and smack him, it hurt. Somebody spit in your face, it's like disrespect is horrible. He felt the same goddamn way, man. They give him some mess to drink. He get in his mouth, he spit it out. He being humiliated, man. Somebody rip your clothes off and you out naked in front of everybody, that's embarrassing, right? To be made mockery of. This is what they did to our king, man. He went through the same thing. Read Hebrews 2:16 real quick.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16.
Listen to what the Lord say about our king.
For verily he took not on him the nature of angels.
He took not upon him the nature of angels. So he wasn't all powerful, super soldier, 10 times the power of the sun. Go ahead.
But he took on him the seed of Abraham.
But he took on him the seed of Abraham, regular men, like a regular Israelite, flesh and blood, pain. He was born on this earth and put on this earth as one of us. Read.
Wherefore in all things it behooved him.
In all things it behooved him, or was best for him. Go ahead.
To be made like unto his brethren.
To be made like unto who?
His brethren.
His brethren. His brothers, man. It was best that he be made like his brothers, man. Why? So he could show us how this thing is done in the same flesh that we in. Right. And now we know it's possible. It behooved him to be like his brethren. Go ahead.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest.
So he might be a merciful and faithful high priest. So he can show us that the Lord's mercy is great. And we can be faithful and be perfect in the Lord, even though we in this sinful flesh. Book of Romans, I ain't going to go to it, said he was born in sinful flesh, just like our flesh. It want to drink, it want to eat, it want pleasure, it want to feel good. It want all the nice things. You understand? If getting high wasn't illegal, we'd all be getting high because it feel good. You understand? It feel good. You understand? So the flesh want to feel good all the time. He had the same flesh. He had the same flesh that hurt when you stab him, hurt when you punch him, hurt when you smack him. You understand? You feel good when you get high. He had the same flesh. You understand? But Book of Romans say he also conquered sin in that sinful flesh. Why? To show us that you can beat sin, even in this disgusting flesh that we in, who wants everything wonderful. We can still beat sin and be perfect. Read back where you at, Malakia. I'm going to end it with this.
Luke chapter 22, verse 42.
Saying,
Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me.
Remove this cup from me. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done.
Right. Not my will, but thine be done. Meaning, Lord, if there's something else I can do to save my brothers, if there's something else I could do to save my people and raise this nation up, other than going through this thing that I'm on a mission to go through, please give me that. But let your will be done. And unfortunately, that was the only thing that could make it right, because our sins were so great. Our sins were so great, there was nothing else that could have been done, to bring us back to the Most High. Without this, without him doing what he did, he wouldn't have been able to loose them seals in the book of life, like the book of Revelation say. Right. And the book of life would be closed. And as long as it's closed, we was dead. Israel was gone and dead. But because he was worthy to walk that walk and die and loose them seals, now the book can be opened. Now we got a second shot, man. Let's not mess it up. Let's not mess it up, Akim. There's a ton more, but that's all. That's my time. I got to get upstairs with the Commander General. Y'all tune in 9 o'clock for the Black Watch show. With that, I'll pass the class over to Officer Barzal.
This the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We got I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Gen.YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if the brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this month time period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can read about this in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Also the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. My ISRAEL means 10% in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gets, you get to the Treasury Department. Priest fund free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatever amount you like to give. Up and coming holy convocation will be the Feast of Purim, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, Monday, 14 February and Tuesday, 15 February 2022. We read about this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 to 31. My Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, so I have to wear all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, sister brothers, I am Elijah, which needs to stand. Just the brothers. Men of Israel, we're going to give the brothers a courteous salute. Men of Israel, I'm I.S.U.P.K, I'm I.S.U.P.K, Barak, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, Thumb. Yahweh, Matab, we hands down, so I can space the system. Sisters, I was being sustained. Sisters, you are I.S.U.P.K, be at your feet at a 45-degree angle. Your right hand clasp over your left. You understand? And making sure that your head is covered when we say Barak. We're going to smite your chest and then say, just move back. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters a courteous salute. Men of Israel, I'm I.S.U.P.K, I'm I.S.U.P.K, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Shem Yahweh. Yahweh the top, class dismissed. So I get to the men above me.